Welcome to my channel. This tutorial uses the Adobe Suite to format surface texture embellishments from extant garments into a base color map that can be used in CLO, Substance Painter, or other digital texturing programs. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is find the image that you want to make into the tileable texture. So this is this 1810s muslin dress from the V&A collection, and I want to make a tileable pattern from this hem here, and then getting these little flower details in as well, and then this neckline pattern. So I'm going to make all of that into one tileable texture that I can use in different ways. So just right click that image and then say open with Adobe Photoshop. All right, and we just need to select that pattern. So I'm going to use the magic wand tool. If I click and hold this icon that's like 4 images down, it's the magic wand tool. All of these tools have the W hotkeys, so I didn't give you the hotkey for that reason. And up here, I have the option to change the settings. So up at this bar, I want to make sure that I am adding to selection, which is this icon right here. For sample size, because this is so small, I'm going to do point sample. And then tolerance, I'm going to be somewhere between 5 and 20 for a pattern like this, depending on how much contrast you're working with. Let's go ahead and start with 10. And then I can just start selecting this pattern. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of slow going. I've done this where I also selected everything but the pattern and then, kind of worked backwards like that. This is such an annoying bar. Hide. Another thing you can do is maybe I can turn the tolerance to 20. And then it's going to select more areas, and then I can always like negatively select the ones that I don't want. So it's a really kind of long process, but doing it well is going to pay off in the long run. So I don't want any of this up here because for the going up the neckline, I can just use this piece right here and just tile it going that way once it's in CLO or whatever program I'm texturing in. All right, I turned it up to 30, which is going much faster. All right, now that I've kind of got this selected, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Rather than having add to selection, now I'm gonna subtract from selection, and I'm gonna turn that tolerance back down to maybe 5, and I can get rid of some of these like little white areas that I don't want. I'm really not worried about getting this perfect because honestly, for something like embellishment and really anything that's handmade, the imperfections are actually going to make it feel more realistic. So that looks about good for this top area. And then I'm also going to grab this flower here. So switching back to add, let's turn that tolerance back to 30. And yeah, that was pretty easy. That I kind of want this whole leaf area here. I am going to use this flower on the sleeve because even though this repeating pattern is the same as the one down here, I don't have a full flower down here, so I want to make sure I get this flower right up here. So I'm going to work on that. And then down here, because there's so much going on with this skirt, I'm going to kind of ignore this part. I think I have a full repeat pattern just here. So from this little thing swirly do to this little swirly do, that looks like the repeat. So if I can get this and then even this and some of that flower for reference, I'm going to end up pulling that flower up there down. And then I also want to grab these guys mostly for placement. Oops. Every time I accidentally select too much, I just am I'm just undoing by hitting Control or Command C. Anytime you're selecting and it's selecting too much, you turn the tolerance down. And anytime you're selecting and it's taking 100 million years, you can turn that tolerance back up again. All right, so once you have something that looks kind of like this with all of these selections, you can go ahead and if you feel like you need a little bit more space, you can expand these. So you can go to Select, Modify, Expand. And for something like this, I would only do it about 1 pixel. I'm feeling pretty good about what I've captured here, so I don't feel like I need to expand very much, so I'm going to leave that out. But I am going to go to select and modify feather, and that's just going to soften those edges so it's not just like so hard, and that'll also kind of make it feel a little bit more organic. So feather radius, I'm going to make that just 1 pixel because this is such a small image, and then go ahead and click OK. So that expanded it just that little bit. And then what I need to do is invert the selection. So select and then inverse, so also Shift Control or Command I. And now instead of selecting the flowers, I'm selecting everything but the flowers. Once you've done that, then you can go to Edit and hit Clear. And that will get rid of everything that isn't your embroidery. And that's all we need to do in Photoshop. So we can go ahead and export this image. Go to File, Export, and quick export as PNG is fine. And figure out where you want to save it on your computer and click Save. And now we can go ahead and go to Adobe Illustrator and make a new file. For the unit, we're going to make this pixels. For the width, we're going to do a 4K texture, so that's 4096. And the height is going to be the same, 4096. Artboard is 1. I'm going to switch color mode to RGB since this will only be used in the computer. I'll leave everything, at high for raster effects, and everything else looks good. Go ahead and hit create. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drag my image that I exported from Photoshop into Illustrator, and we'll just leave it there for now. And now we need to make this image into a vector. So to do that, I'm going to go to Window and then Image Trace. And then I just need to click on this image and preset. I want it to be high fidelity photo. And then down here this is under the advanced options. I want the method to be creates cutout paths. And then I want to ignore the color that is the white background. So I'm just going to click the eyedropper and click that white background, and that should be good. Once everything looks good, you can go ahead and uncheck preview and then click trace. On Windows, for some reason, I have to go to Object, Expand, and then click OK, and then that will make everything kind of pop out. And then this looks good. I'm just going to double check that I got rid of all the white by creating a rectangle in the background. Yeah, there are some pieces here that I still want to delete so that this looks nice and clean. So I'm going to go to the selection tool, or the V hotkey. And when I click on this, you can see that everything is kind of still grouped together. It's giving me the option to ungroup here. I can also go to Object, Ungroup here. So let's make sure that ungrouped. Let's try it there. Great. And now I can just click on individual pieces and take the time to delete them. All right, I'm also going to get rid of all of this. I don't know why I selected it in the first place, because this line down here is going to be like top stitching. So I'm just going to delete that and put that in later. Now I can go ahead and rotate this so the bottom edge is parallel to the artboard. So I just clicked and dragged just to kind of select, and I'm also going to kind of maybe move it down here to help myself out. And now I need to get this flower in here. So I'm actually just going to come up here, grab that flower from up here, and then use Controller Command C to copy, come back down here, and Controller Command V to paste. And there we go. We got our flower back. And it looks like I lost my placement for my little smaller flowers, but I think I'm just going to grab maybe this flower right here from the hem, and then kind of give myself a position there, I think. And then maybe up here, maybe that's where those little flowers are on that dress. Okay, now that we've got like a complete tile, all up and down here, I can go ahead and select all of these and then group which is here. It's also under Object Group. So now I can start tiling this. I can go ahead and click my image, Control or Command C, Control or Command V. And then now I'm just trying to line this up here. And it looks like when I line up these swirlies, it kind of puts it going off this direction. I'm not too worried about it. I can always rotate this again. So I'm just going to hit Control V again and maybe place another one over here. And again, I'm not super concerned with like consistency when I'm doing this tiling, because with this type of embroidery and really so many things that you make that are garments, they're not perfect in real life either. So that those kinds of imperfections are actually helpful. Great. So now all of this needs to clearly get rotated. So I'm just going to take care of that like there. And now for the neckline embroidery, I can go ahead and just click and drag to select all of that. You can delete any unwanted shapes now. It looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to go to Envelope Distort and Make with Warp. And this will actually, I'm going to straighten this out. So it's a really convenient way to do that. Let's see if I type in 20%. Yeah, so you can see that straightens that out in that straight line, which is what my pattern piece is going to be shaped as, and it's going to help us tile that. So style is arc, bend is about 20% or whatever works for you. And go ahead and once that looks like it's in a straight line, you can go ahead and click OK. And again, this object now needs to be expanded too. So go to Object, well, click it, go to Object, and then Expand. Okay, and then now it's back into that vector form. And then we can do that same thing where we Control C, Control V, and make a tileable texture here. I like to give it like some kind of overlap so that I kind of use that last flower to kind of line the first other flower up. All right, I think we've gotten all the use out of this sleeve area, so I'm just going to click and drag to select and then hit delete to delete that. And now we need to fit these textures to be tileable on this artboard. And I'm sure there are ways to just automatically do this that are super easy, fun, and cool. And if so, let me know in the comments. I'll show you what I do though, is I click and drag to select all. And then I just manually stretch these to expand the width of the artboard, and I look for places where I know that they will repeat. So for example, there's this flower here and that flower there. If I'm clicking and dragging all of these and manually scaling them, there's the edge of that flower there. It looks like I need to scale that more. I might actually, because I don't want this to be so out of proportion to this one down here, I might just copy some of these and paste them so I make this tileable texture a little bit longer, be on this side. Now that edge of the flower is right there, and then right where the artboard begins, and now that edge of the flower is right there, right where the artboard ends. And that is how I manually tile textures. Doing the same thing over here. Just go ahead and scaling this up. I don't want it to scale so much that it's going to interfere with this texture up here, so I might need to do, actually I think because this dress was collapsed, I can just distort it maybe this way. Yeah, I think that's going to be a much prettier pattern. Probably have to tile one more for this to be useful. Okay, now I've used this edge of this flower right here, so right where that one ends, that one will end right there, so that should tile just fine. Okay, so if this is a print on your garment, that you can go ahead and leave it here, and you can do, like I usually do a lot more in Substance Painter, but you can also apply an embroidery texture just in Illustrator. So I'm just going to Control or Command A to select all. I can also just click and drag to select all. I'm going to zoom in so I can see a little bit closer to what I'm doing, and then I'm going to go to Effect, Stylize, Scribble. All right, the path overlap, I'm going to leave at 0, variation at 1. The stroke width, honestly, 1 to 2 is good, and you can play around with these as well. Spacing, I actually might make this 3. I know it looks good here, but once I get it into another program, I think a little bit more spacing really sells that embroidery look. And variation, I can have at 1. All right, then you can go ahead and click OK. So that embroidery pattern is going to look really lovely. Honestly, if I was taking a little bit more time here, I would go back and in Photoshop, I would have made sure I got like a full stem here. And, I might do a few other things differently as here as well. But it is also nice to check it in your 3D program to see what it's actually going to look like in the final product before making too many other choices. And to get it ready to import into CLO or Substance Painter or whatever program, I just go to File, Export, Export As, find where I want to save it, name it something better than I am right now. Key thing to click is use artboards so that anything on the outside here isn't going to be included in your exported image. Once you click export, also, I keep the resolution really high. Others may disagree, but that's what I do. And background color, you want to make sure it's transparent so that instead of if you're layering it on other things, it'll make sure that only the images that you've made will show through, and go ahead and click OK. And that's all you need to do. Every garment's going to be different, but that's the general process. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or ideas or ways that this workflow could be improved, feel free to leave that in the comments. And other than that, I'll see you next time.